ఓం. ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. శ్రుతిస్మృతిపురాణానామాలయం కరుణాలయం నమామి భగవత్పాదశంకరం లోకశంకరం. నారాయణం నమస్కృత్య నరం చైవ నరోత్తమం దేవీం సరస్వతీం వ్యాసం తతో జయముదీరయేత్. యక్ష ఉవాచ కేన స్విచ్ఛ్రోత్రియో భవతి. యుధిష్ఠిర ఉవాచ śrutena śrotriyo bhavati. There is a distinction between knowledge or knowing versus learning. They are two different things. And I always try to point out, because this distinction is generally missed by people. It is missed in schools of Vedanta also, where Vedanta is taught and studied, etc. There also it is missed. So when you miss it, what happens is study of Vedanta becomes like any study of any other subject. It becomes like professional. Like in university there are so many departments, so you enter into departmental thinking. And so you join one of the departments of the university and study there for 4 or 6 semesters and come out with a degree. And then using that degree, you get a job. But sometimes the people have a degree but they are not employable. That happens. So there used to be a gentleman called Dharmadhikari, an associate of Vinoba Bhave. A gentleman, before independence. It is recorded in Vinoba Bhave's book. A gentleman went to Dharmadhikari and took a young man. Please arrange for a job to this young man. Dharmadhikari, that is his name. Dharmadhikari is his name, a Maharashtrian. He said, okay, I will try to find a job for the young man. So, what will you do? That is, he asked. Then immediately he has given his BA certificate to him. And he looked at the BA certificate, good, you passed BA. In those days, BA is very big thing. So he gave back the BA certificate. What will you do? That is, he asked. Then he took the BA certificate, already he has put in his file, he pulled out it one more time and gave it. No, I have seen the BA certificate. What will you do? Now you understand? There is a difference between accumulating knowledge versus life. They are not the same thing. Sometimes it may work. Sometimes it may work. That the degree that you have earned makes you employable in a way. And then they take you and you get an employment. And therefore, then you get a degree, MA, or even PhD, etc. So, but that is knowledge. But the person may be lacking very much, in spite of having a lot of knowledge, as confirmed by the degree certificate. The person may lack in learning or understanding. The fundamental difference between the two, I try to point out, because it's a bit tricky. That's why I try to give a thumb rule how to distinguish between the two. It is very important to distinguish. Very important. Otherwise, we end up making the mistake of putting a study of Vedanta into knowledge category. You don't need knowledge, you are already employed, you are placed in good positions, You have all kinds of degrees. You are not here to study one more semester course. You don't need any knowledge, but you need learning. You means not you, generally it is said like that. Understanding, that is what we need. Therefore, in Sanskrit itself, there is a word panditaha. So, yaksha is not asking about panditaha. He is asking about śrotriyaha. Panditaha, one can become a scholar by studying the Shastra, one or two. There are panditas, Chatushastra panditas. So, they have studied 4 Shastras. In fact, about Veda also you find that. Like somebody, generally many of them studied one Veda. But there comes one person who studied 2 Vedas. He is called Dvivedi. You must have heard. And then somebody has studied 3 of them, Trivedi. And also there are people who are called Tripathi. Then Chaturvedi is also there. So that means for one Veda it takes say 5 years to memorize it. You spend another 3-4 years, you memorize the second Veda. Then another 4 years, another Veda. Like that they have done. They are not, they are knowledgeable people, they are panditas, but they are not shrotriyas. Śrotriya is altogether a different thing. You see, in life, this I tried to point out, and I am emphasizing on the distinction between knowledge versus learning. So, the knowledge helps you to get a degree, to get a job, to make a living, to have a family, to build a house, to make a family, get some name and fame in this society, to retire in a very good retirement community. All that knowledge will give you. But soon, in this path, soon we become mechanical. And we lose enthusiasm of life. We lose that freshness. We will be pretty much doing the same work. And we will have a lot of money and not knowing how to use that money, not knowing, because money cannot get happiness. Money can get gadgets and luxuries, but it cannot purchase happiness. Money can purchase doctor's service and medicines, but it cannot purchase good health. Money can get you a good house, but it cannot get you peace of mind and happiness. Therefore, soon we understand, sometimes we don't even understand the limitations of money, social status, job, family. Family also becomes mechanical. And soon it goes into a routine of coexistence, mutual coexistence. That is how and then it becomes a psychological dependence. That is where it ends up. And people grow into old age, physically grow into old age, but they don't grow into the maturity, that inner maturity. And so they will be still jealous, unhappy, fighting, quarreling, hating, getting attached. That is how they live in the old age. Did you understand what I am saying? Therefore, knowledge is not going to help you to come out of this rut. It is learning which helps. Knowledge versus learning. The thumb rule is, in knowledge, accumulation takes place. That is how you have to make a distinction. To make this distinction is very important. Kena pandito bhavati, that is not the question of yaksha, because that is not a important question. Everybody knows it. Join a school, study well, and you become a pandita. He is asking how a person becomes a śrotriya. You see, in life, I tell you, you have to find what is God. You have to find. Now, don't ask why should we find. For some reason, you have a problem with the word God, then I will put it differently. You have to find in life, you have to find out what truth is. You have no choice there. So, because without finding what the truth is, life becomes monotonous. And soon you enter into a life of monotony where all enthusiasm and cheer are absent. Therefore, you have no choice about it. You have to find out what God is. Because that understanding of the truth, God is the truth. I'm not speaking the language of a God-man. You understand what? Just because I put a dress of this kind, I'm not a God-man. I'm not a religious guru. So I am discussing or inquiring into life along with you. The speaker is together with the students or together with the listeners in inquiring the reality of life. That is what we are doing. And therefore, so I am not a God-man, but still I say, you have no choice about it. You have to find out what God is. Now I will tell you one thing. As long as you belong to any given organized religion, you will not be able to find what God is. You see? Now you understand that I am not a God-man. And you know, a truly religious person, you have to think about these things. A truly religious person does not belong to any particular sectarian organized religion of the world. Because once you belong to a particular religion, you have a particular sect and you submit to a particular guru, ho gaya, you don't find the truth anymore. You are conditioned and you become a follower. You are not searching for the truth anymore. Therefore, so now you understand the direction in which I am taking the discussion forward. So you have to find what God is, because understanding of God or understanding of the truth, which is same, Satyam Brahma, is the very foundation of life. It is like you cannot build a house that stands firm unless the foundation is proper. Life is like that. Unless the foundation is proper, life will become monotonous, and no surprise that people are unhappy. By the time they grow into old age, they end up as unhappy people with a variety of problems in life. Because there is no proper foundation, and the foundation is the understanding of the truth. That is the foundation of life. Otherwise, what happens, we end up with all kinds of cunning inventions of man. The retirement community is a cunning invention of man, I will put it that way. Very cunning. I mean, cunning means, please understand the spirit of it, that kind of and then a club, retired people's club. Very cunning invention. Or, what we do? So, we call it, we get donations, collect money from people and put a home, build a building and make rooms. And all these Swamis who cannot live by themselves are welcome there. You see this cunning invention? Huh? This kind of a privilege the worldly people don't have, family people don't have, only Swamis have it. So means Swamis needed it. Can you see that? Can't you see that? And therefore, one Swami takes up the job of collecting money and building it. And now we are offered, you can come and live here. And once we go and start living there, they will put some problems there. You cannot live happily even in a place like that. I don't know whether I could convey the message. Many cunning inventions of people are there. We become victims of such inventions, so which are absolutely meaningless. So, therefore, in life, if we don't want life to go into that kind of a rut, or that kind of a monotony or unhappy ending. You have to seek out what is God, what is truth. You have to seek out. The name for that is Shruta. Śrutena śrotriyo bhavati. So, you see, I tell you, life has meaning. Meaning only when you are seeking out the reality from moment to moment. I'm not suggesting you stop doing everything else. You do what all needs to be done. You do a job, make a family, and love all the family members, be a good citizen, pay taxes, all that you will be doing. But that is not enough. You have to seek out the real from moment to moment. And then the real is not on the other side of the river. That is how people understand it. It is on the other side of the river. The Vaidikas, the ritualists, they assume that the real means the happiness, the Brahma, the happiness, the fulfillment is in the heaven. And so now what should we do? Before we fall dead, we have to perform a few rituals and make ourselves ready. So the rituals are the visa to go to heaven. And happiness is in heaven, not here. So you have to prepare, make life useful, use the life in putting a few rituals into the pocket. Perform the rituals and you have earned the merit and it is with you in the pocket. Like a retirement benefits. You have a certain bank account and now you are ready to retire. Like very cunning, I tell you. So, therefore, for them the reality is in the heaven. And for the students of Vedanta, the reality is on the other side of the river. They have to swim the river. What is the swimming the river consists of? Study a set of books under the guidance of a guru. So that is how you swim across the river. Then they realize, after studying all those books, they realized that they could not reach the other end of the river. They are still on this side of the river only. Really, I am, you see, this is my prarabdha. My prarabdha is to speak the truth. That is my prarabdha. So, nobody speaks these things. They put it under the carpet, push it under the carpet. But I am speaking it. Therefore, the Atmajnanam is not on the other side of the river. Where is Atmajnanam? It is in moment to moment, it is there. The truth is there. You have to seek it from moment to moment. Like you are a family person in which there is a relation. In that relation there is truth. Do you know the truth as it obtains in that relation? So, from moment, in everything there is reality. Reality is in everything. You are standing before the rising sun, there is reality in it. You are looking at the changing colors of a tree, there is reality in that. You are looking at a desert landscape, there is reality in it. You have to seek out reality in everything. And you have to seek out the real from moment to moment. It is not on the other side of the river. If there is an illness for the other person, there is reality in it. If there is illness in one's own body, there is reality in it. If there is a good health, there is reality in it. You have to seek out reality in everything from moment to moment. That is what will make you a śrotriya. The reality is not to be found in the church or in the temple. No. Or in some ritual. Not to be found in some ritual. So, you see, and one more thing. I have entered into this topic, and so I am discussing this topic with you, together with you. You see, the real, You have to seek out the real, the truth. And there is an enormous amount of dust of centuries that is piled up over the truth in the name of tradition. Like the moment you say God, let us say God, there is so much about God around you. There is so much. The Christian God, the Hindu God, the Vaishnava God, the Shaiva God, the Shakteya God. There is so much about God. And now what you do, you take one piece of it and pursue. You won't find God. To find God, all this dust that has accumulated over the idea of God over centuries in the name of tradition, so much dust has settled upon this idea of God. So to know the reality, so you must know how to go about removing all this dust and becoming free from all this conditioning about God. This conditioning is not going to take you to the truth. Therefore, the search for reality, you conduct the search, the inquiry for reality, that is called śrutena. That is the true education. That makes you a śrotriyo. The study of certain subjects like physics, chemistry, or even Advaita Vedanta, etc., is merely a small part of education. And it serves a small purpose also. But that is not the end of life. Just to do a job and make a family and wait for retirement and death, is that what life is? That is not what life is. But people settle into that. They settle down into that. They develop a sense of complacency about it. And they just rot into that one small part of life. So that is only very small part of education and very small part of life. There is a vast area of our life for which we are not educated at all. For example, the bird is life. Not only you are life, the bird is life, the fish is life, the grass is life, the beggar is life, the pandita is life, everything is life. Are we educated to understand life in its complete form? We are not educated like that. So, therefore, we do not have the right approach to life. We do not have the right approach to understand the truth. You see, you should begin with religion. But religion has nothing to, the religion that I am talking about, which is a seeking of the truth, śrutena, it has nothing to do with the priest. It has nothing to do with the church. It has nothing to do with the dogma or any belief. It has nothing to do with any guru or a god man. That is not the religion. What is religion? Religion is love without motive. That is religion. And you are generous, you are good, and then only we are real human beings. No university will teach us generosity, goodness, love. They don't teach it. You have to discover it in yourself. That goodness, that generosity, that love does not happen in you except when it does not happen until and unless you start the search for the truth. You have to investigate, who am I? What is life? What is death? What is birth? What is death? What is the meaning of life? Who am I? That what is God? That investigation you have to understand. You have to undertake, not understand, undertake. Then only when the investigation, when the shruta, understanding of life, the search for the truth goes in the right direction, it moves forward, then only you will understand what is love, what is generosity, what is goodness. Otherwise, people, they don't know what is love. They only know attachment. For example, parents, this I say, I know what I say does not sound very nice, but still I say to make a point. Parents, for example, do not know how to love their children. If the parents do not know how to love their children, then who knows what is love? Parents know, what parents know is only to dominate, to possess the children. And even they don't even hesitate to take psychological advantage in all kinds of relations. That is what people know. Because they were not educated to understand life. They were not educated to search for the truth at all. That's why they don't know what is love. They don't know what is goodness. Simple goodness they don't know. So, because of so much of dust in the form of religion, in the form of tradition, has settled in our mind, we are so badly conditioned that we cannot even be simply good human beings. Even that becomes a very big accomplishment. Therefore, unless we understand some of these basic things, our search for reality will not move forward. In fact, when you start the search for the reality, then only you will understand what is love, what is goodness, what is generosity. Generosity is not giving some donation. So they sell tickets, a dance program they put, fundraiser. So put a dance program and put a dinner also to that. And come for the fundraiser. And purchase a ticket $100 and then you donate. Is this not cunningness? That is how cunningness works. People are very cunning, I tell you. And fundraisers, what is fundraiser? Why should you raise fund at all? Because we don't have the search for the truth in our lives. We become subservient to the systems that are put in place in the name of tradition, in the name of religion. That is how we end up. We are followers. We do not investigate. We do not search for the truth. That is very unfortunate. So, what is religion in the true sense? That you have to investigate. And you have to work out the religion in the true sense. And then you have to live it. Then what happens, life becomes astonishingly rich. When you investigate the truth and live in search of the truth, then life becomes astonishingly rich, far richer than all the bank accounts in the world. Therefore, that jijñāsa, that you pursue. What is religion, true religion? What is love? What is goodness? What is generosity? Who am I? What is birth? What is death? All this you understand. Shruta, understanding. Then you are called a śrotriya. Śrutena śrotriyo bhavati. So śrotriyam brahmanishtham, that's the Upanishad. So that is the question. Very powerful question and equally powerful answer. Then the next question. We say, yakṣa uvāca kena svidviṃdate mahat. That is the question. So mahat is Brahma. Mahat is Brahma. So the supreme. So, by what you gain Brahma? Kena svidviṃdate mahat. And the answer, yudhiṣṭhira uvāca, tapasā viṃdate mahat. So tapas, that is what will help you gain the Brahma. Then this tapas, now we are in the 48th verse, and very soon in the 50th verse, 49th verse is question again, 50th verse is answer. There again tapaha comes. Therefore it is not the same tapaha, this tapaha and that tapaha. It is not the same tapaha. Because so you have to keep in mind the distinction between this tapas and that tapas. Here the tapas is the answer to the question, kena svidviṃdate mahat. By what one gains Brahman, the truth, which is the Atma. Then there the question, that is tapas is the answer. The next question will be down the line, kascha dharmas satamiva. What is the dharma? Like suppose you belong to a category of good people and they follow something called dharma. You want to follow a similar dharma yourself. What is that dharma? That is the question. Kascha dharmas satamiva. And then answer is again tapas. Therefore it is not the same tapas. Here tapas is tapa alochane. That is the tapas here. There tapas is a well-known discipline. It can be bluntly translated as self-denial or self-abnegation. Like for example, you join a course in the university and then you like to see movies. But what you will say, till I finish this semester and successfully finish this course, I will not go to movies. You say like that, right? That is called self-denial or self-abnegation. That is tapas there, not here. Here tapas is tapa alochane, means the capacity to think. That is the tapa. Tapa alochane. You must be able to think. Then you will understand Brahman. Because you have to discover Brahman. You have to discover truth. Suppose truth is a formula, like binomial theorem. Binomial theorem, I love it. Because suppose you have, suppose you have 12 power 24, how much? How can you calculate? You cannot calculate. But take binomial theorem, 2 plus 10, power 24. Make it 12, you make it 2 plus 10. Because 10, when it is squared or made for power 3 or power 4, you can easily write the value. For 2 also you can easily write. 2 power 4 is 16. Like that you can easily write. Therefore 12 you make 2 plus 10, power 24. Now it is 24 C0, 2 power. So now you can draw the formula. Put it into the formula, you will get the answer. Atmajnana is not like that. What is the difference? In the formula, there is one who knows the formula, the college teacher. And he will come and explain the formula on the board. We all sit with our notes and notebook and pen, and he is writing on the board with a chalk in the old-fashioned way. We all sit and note down, understanding. Suppose one particular step you did not understand. Sir, I did not get it. He will explain it. You will get it. This is how. It is a formula given by a teacher, and you be a good student and get it. And in your turn, you will become a teacher again. This is called tradition. This doesn't work when it comes to knowing Brahman. It just doesn't work. Because Brahman happens to be Atma, yourself. It is like, you see, you don't mind my telling one small experience of my own. I went to join PhD. And the professor asked me, why do you want to join PhD? What for? I already had a job offer. That job is a government job also. and you get a very good salary. In those days, whatever stipend they give, that was 1/3 of the salary. And so why do you want to give up the job and come for 1/3 of the salary, that stipend? And in the job, life becomes easy. And by the time you finish your PhD here, if you continue the job, you will get one promotion also. Whereas here, what do you get? You don't get anything. And it is not like MSc. MSc, you worked hard and got a degree. But here it won't happen like that. You have to work yourself. I will not be sitting with you and guiding you all the time. I will see you once in a week. And that too 10 minutes. That is the time I give to the students. Once in a week, 10 minutes. The rest of the week, you have to struggle. You have to work. You have to investigate. You have to discover and get the PhD. And after PhD, you may not get equally good job. He told me that. This job now you will give up and join. After PhD, the same job you will not get. And your colleague will be 5 years ahead of you in the job. And you will be his junior. Are you ready for it? That is what he told. Anybody else, any student would have run away. Right? But I said, yes, I will join. Vedanta is like that. Here, there is no formula, there is no course. You work hard and get it. It is not like that. You have to investigate. So a research scientist, he will be watching it and observing it. He is not waiting to get something. He doesn't know what will happen. He doesn't know what he will find. He is just watching it and observing it. The color there was no color earlier. Suddenly it is developing color. What happened to it? So he is watching it and observing it. So, is there a thing called caramel? Caramel is what? It comes from milk? Milk or something like that. It is brown in color. White becomes brown. Earlier it was white. Now white becomes brown. It is called brownification. White became brown. So that means the oligosaccharides have broken down into smaller units of sugars, and that is how the brown color has come. Somebody has done research on it and published a few papers on it. So he has watched. White is becoming brown. Suppose he did not care for it, then he won't find anything. You understood how research goes? You have to search for it. You have to investigate, search for it. Means you must have an open mind. Very open mind. And that is not enough. You have to have a creative thought. That is called tapaha. Tapa alochane. Lochana is seeing. You see what other persons cannot see. That is tapa alochane. In a course, you study what everybody else is studying. Whereas in tapa alochane, you think, which you alone think. Nobody else thinks along with you. You cannot compare and contrast also. This is called creative thinking. But suppose you already subscribe to a religious sect or a religious belief, then you cannot have creative thought, because the belief makes the thought crippled and adulterated. Already the mind gets conditioned, and because it is bound by belief. And then, you see, just I will say this, you please see whether you can agree with me. Not about agreeing. You see, you think about God, right? You wake up and you think of God, right? What is that thought? Is it not a reaction based on belief? Is it not so? What is original in your thought of God? No, not original. Some ideas about God are already implanted there, and whatever thought you have come out with in the morning is not original. It is a reaction. It is not action. It is a reaction. coming out of the belief, right? That is not the thought which we are talking about here. Therefore, that means your thought of God, let us say, it is only a reaction based on a particular belief, right? And hence, that thought, that thinking is never true. It is never flowing. It is always like one thought broken, another thought broken, like that. It is never flowing smoothly. It is never creative. You understand? And your thinking faculty is held in check by the belief, by a formula. It is held in check. It is like somebody advised, don't read all kinds of books, something like that. It is held in check. Means you are not sure of yourself. Not only your guru is not sure of you, you are also not sure of you. But if you read that book or that book, you will become something else. That so unsure about yourself. You don't believe in yourself. This is how the thought becomes crippled in belief systems. Therefore, you see, I tell you one thing. What I am saying, you should apply to yourself. Now and here. You can easily follow my meaning. No difficulty at all. You have to apply to yourself now and here. If you merely listen to it as an entertainment, what is the entertainment here? Let me see what this Swami says. That could be an entertainment. So, then what I say is futile. It will not be of any use. And there will only be further confusion, really speaking. So you should apply to yourself what I am saying. You think of God, they advise, you think of God, Bhagavan ka smaran karo. Right? They advise like that, you know. You should not think of other things, you should always think of God. So what kind of thinking it is? Is it not a reaction based on a belief? Huh? So, what is original in it? What is creative in it? There is nothing creative in it. That's why I say, suppose you repeat the same thing 100 times, 1,000 times, there is nothing creative in it. It makes you dull and it makes you mechanical, and you are just reacting to a belief system put in your head by somebody. You call it thinking, but there is nothing original in it. That creative thinking you need. Do you need creative thinking to discover even a small thing of science? Do you need creative thinking or not? You need creative thinking, you know. You need creative thinking. And after the discovery is made, it looks simple. But before the discovery, you need creative thinking. Suppose a surgeon is there. He opens the one particular part of the body. Let us say he opens the gut. Now he is peering at the gut. Now he will apply the knowledge of that he acquired through surgery books, true. But should he not need some creative thinking also? Huh? You need creative thinking. You see, driving a car. You know how to drive the car. There is a formula. Books are written, manuals are written, and you study all of those, and you give an exam, and you pass. And now you are driving the car. But suddenly something happens. Don't you need to be creative to drive in a difficult situation? You need creative thinking. Suppose you are having a tiff or a scuffle with your son, whom you brought up, gave birth and brought up, and he is now in 20s and he is fighting with you. Don't you need some creative thought to handle that situation? Or you follow a formula, check how to deal with a fighting son. A book, a personality development book, you want to read and face the situation? Or you want to be creative about it? Suppose I become sick, some COVID or whatever. Don't I need some creative understanding of life to face the the odd in life, odds of life. Otherwise we become helpless. You need creative thinking. We face situations where you need to be creative. Formulas are not written like that. And now you have made God into a formula. You don't need you need creative thinking to drive a car, to face an illness, to deal with a difficult relationship. You need creative thinking in all that, but when it comes to God, you don't need creative thinking. You should not have creative thinking, you should only believe. You think like that? That is how truth is discovered. Who told you? I have said enough times already. That is not the way it works. So you need creative thinking. So you have to, how to get creative thinking? Tapaha. How to get it? So, let us say that vakya. Tapasa viṃdate mahat. Tapasa with tapas, with creative thinking. Mahat the Brahma, which is the Atma. Viṃdate, one gains. So you need creative thinking. What is creative thinking? So, you see, there are these coffee tasting people. I met one in person. He tastes coffee. That is his job. I asked him, how many coffees you taste per day? He said, 100 coffees I taste per day. Then all that coffee will go into the, no, not even a drop will go. I take my cup of coffee in the morning at home, that's all. After that, I will not allow one drop of coffee go into my system. But he takes the coffee, takes it in, and then he assesses its taste and throws out in the sink and washes the mouth and ready to taste one more coffee. And he makes a note. Then I asked, that must be a simple job. He said, it is not a simple job. It is the toughest job. Only a few people can make it successful, because it requires a lot of creative thinking, creative understanding. Only a surgeon can understand it, a scientist can understand what I am saying, and a student of Vedanta can understand, a real student of Vedanta can understand what I am saying. You know what you have to discover? This is the example I give. You have to discover. Not that somebody tells by reading a book and you listen to it and get it. You don't get it anything like that. That way you get an idea of Atma and accumulate it in the head. What you have to discover is, this is the challenge. You think about it and discover it in yourself. That is, you do not do anything. Things happen. You don't do things. That is, Atma is akarta. That is the discovery. Can you discover that based on a belief? You have to discover that. Means you have to understand life to its depths. Then only you can tell with conviction, with understanding, yes, I know it. We do not do anything. Things happen. I don't do. Things happen. That is the discovery. Atmanam akartaram yaha pashyati saha pashyati. How will you discover that? Because Guru told, therefore you are akarta. Is that the way you discover it? You need creative thought. How to gain that creative thought? How to acquire it? Very simple. You have to see the difference between conditioned thinking versus creative thinking. You must know the difference between the two. That is what I am discussing in the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And you know the distinction between the two. And then when a thought comes, you know the thought, you watch the thought and understand that this thought is a reaction. It is not original. Understand. Okay? So now you are now free from the burden of reaction. You know this is not original. This is reaction only. You understand. So in understanding a thought based on belief as a mere reaction, it is not creative, you become free from that thought. It won't hold you anymore. And that is how you grow into creative thinking. You got the point? There is no formula for creative thinking. Then it becomes another formula of creative thinking, and you by heart it and put in your head as an idea, and it doesn't work. Not like that. Therefore you understand, if you don't mind me putting a bit bluntly, you understand that your thought of God, your thinking of God is based on belief, and hence it's a reaction, and hence it is not original, it is not creative. You understand that. In understanding the non-creative thought as non-creative, you grow into creative thought. You become free, and you grow into creative thought. In that awareness, this thought is based on belief. It's a reaction based on belief. It is not original. In that understanding, in that awareness, there is freedom. Right? And in that, when you are free, you think in a very creative way. Another important aspect of creative thinking, this is difficult even to explain, but I am trying to do a job. Of course, with your cooperation, we can arrive at some meaningful understanding. For example, you are afraid. There is fear. Why fear? Because belief instills fear. Belief goes with fear. There is belief means there is fear. And what is fear? Fear is the opposite of freedom. What is the fear and the freedom that we are talking about? The fear of thinking. You are afraid to think. And when you become free, then you are free to think. So as long as there is fear of thinking in you, you will not be having the freedom to think. And without the freedom to think, you cannot have a creative thinking. And without creative thinking, you cannot understand the Atma. You have to know that I am He. That is what you have to know. Not an easy thing. I am He, you have to know. You need creative thinking even to make dosha and serve. It is not a formula. I have seen one young lady in the ashram making dosha. So she brought the dough and put it with a spoon on the hot pan. It came this thick. And you know what she did? She told, oh, this dosha did not come well. And so she took it with that spoon, and there was a waste basket by the side. She put it into the waste basket. And she was about to put one more. I went and held her hand. You have no right to spoil the dough like this. So just because you don't know how to put dosha, you throw into the waste basket. You don't do it, leave it there. So very arrogant these people are. No value for the material. Material is valuable, it comes with money. You cannot throw it like that. Anyway, I have digressed. Therefore, you have to develop creative thinking, and that is tapas, that tapa alochana. That's why Upanishad says, satapo brahmeti tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. Now you understand what is tapas. So tapas taptva, the student, he investigated, he performed tapas, and he came to a conclusion. You see, I always say this, I said this is a crazy world. Why I say this? You examine this story from Taittiriya Upanishad. The Bhrigu goes to the father Varuna and asks, please tell me what is Brahma. Okay? Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. And what the teacher says, Okay, I have the Brahma formula ready. Come, I am waiting for you. Come, take it. This is Brahma. You got it? Is that what he said? He said, you have to discover Brahma in you. I can only show the way, the pointing finger. That is all I can tell you. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. You think about it. There is that, out of which the world originates, the world springs up. That in which the world is upheld, and that into which the world resolves. That is Brahma. You find out. Look at that. And he advises, you will discover Brahma by tapas, tapa alochane. So investigate and think about it with an open mind. You will find it. Then he gave a thought to it. And he concluded that food is Brahma. How much he must have thought, you give an idea. Food is the Brahma. Like that he concluded. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. So that is how the story goes. We read this Upanishad all the time, right? Why don't we follow that Upanishad in our life? Why don't you advise the student to discover Brahma yourself? You discover God. That is the advice we should give. What advice we are giving? Are we advising like that? We prepare a formula. This is God. And give it to the student. Is that what Upanishad say? That's why I say this is a crazy world. They recite Upanishad, but they don't understand its spirit. So they don't ask the student to investigate, inquire, think, and find the truth. Nobody tells like that. Everybody is ready with his own formula. Not many ladies are there in this game. That's why I said his own formula. I did not say or her own, no. Because not many ladies are there in this game. So everybody offers his own formula of God to the person. Tries to condition the person. And the person is ready to be conditioned. Why people want to be conditioned? Because they need not think. They are lazy, intellectual laziness. They don't want to think. What Bhrigu did, they don't want to do. They want a formula. But study the story of the Bhrigu. And they want a formula. And the Guru also says, I have the formula, I will give it to you. And the Guru goes from place to place and collects shishyas and gives formula. Guru has a bag or a box with him all the time, and the formula is inside the box. And he distributes the formula here and there. There are Gurus who have gods, custom-made gods in the box. And the devotee goes, immediately he pulls out one piece of God and gives to him, worship this. This is God. Oh, how to reach God? You worship this God. This is the God and you worship it, you will reach it. And people take it and do that. That's why I say this is a crazy world. Here nobody tells the students to find the truth, the God for yourself. Nobody tells. Very unfortunate. So you have to find the God for yourself. You have to find your true nature yourself. You have to find in you. So what you are doing is, you are the Atma. And you project the Atma outside. And it appears as an image for you. And you worship the avahayami. So, avahayami, I invite God. Where from you have invited God? Suppose Ganapatim avahayami. So, where from Ganapati came? From above it came? No, did he not come from your own Atma? You tell me, did he not come from your own Atma? Avahayami, there Ganapati is sitting. And it has come from you, right? And then puja is done. and then Ganapatim yathasthanam udvasayami and put it back into your Atma. Are you not doing that? Did you ever give a thought about it? You are pulling out Brahma or Ganapati or Rama or Krishna from your own Atma and worshipping as though it is separate, believing that it is separate, and then you are putting it back into yourself. Don't you see that? You have to see that, for which you need creative thought. You need creative thought or not? For the seeing what I said just now. Are you able to see what I said? You need creative thought or not? That creative thought is called tapas. And you have that tapas in you, you will gain Brahma. Ratapasā viṃdate mahat. I have made enough deal of the creative thought. Let us move forward. Kena svidvitīyavānbhavati. The word dvitīya is a constant support and help. What is the right word for it? I was thinking. But anyway, let us manage like that for the present. A constant refuge. Or sometimes they use the word bulwark. You know what is bulwark? Like this is there behind the chair. I take support and relax. That is called bulwark. The second. Wife is called dvitīya. Do you know that? Because the man, he struggles in the world, and by the evening he is tired physically as well as mentally, he is exhausted. Then he goes home, looks at his wife, he feels relaxed. Right? Assuming that happens that way, she is... mostly it happens. Mostly it happens. And therefore she is called dvitīya. That is the meaning of the word dvitīya. So in life, what is such a support for you? By holding on to what? You can rest assured that I can relax. I have the refuge. I can relax. What is that second? Dvitīya. The answer is dhṛtyā dvitīyavānbhavati. Dhṛti is a very difficult word to explain. Dhṛti, physically, Sri Krishna has explained it in all the three ways. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Sattva is physical body. Tamas is physical body. And Rajas is the prana, the vital force. And Tamas is jnanam, understanding. Not Tamas, Sattva. So dhṛti at the level of the body is good health. Good health means not that you become a pahilwan or any such thing. You, even in the up to the ripe old age, you can stand on your feet, you can do your own chores, and that physical stamina, that is dvitīya. Generally what people do, people, they have a wrong approach to life. You know what they say in India? Suppose somebody is not willing to get married, a young man. His marriageable age is crossing and he is not willing to get married. You know what elders will say? I heard it n times. Are you get married, appa? Because in the old age when you become sick, you need a woman to serve you. That is what they say. And it happens that way also. It happens that way. When the woman becomes sick, he may not serve her, but he may not, he may also. But when the man becomes sick, the woman invariably serves. There is a beauty in it, there is a glory in it. I am not against it. I am not going to the feminism and all that. It is a human thing and it happens, that is great, wonderful. But you are banking on that kind of relying upon the other from the very first day. So you get married to a young lady because in the old age when I get bedridden she will serve me. Is that the approach? How does it sound? This is what is called jaramaranam icchantaha. Shyavante tan manishaya. That vakya, I am amazed by that. It says, jaramarana nirmuktaha sarve dharma svabhavataha. Dharmaha means human beings, jivaha. All of us are free from old age and death by very nature, svabhavataha. There is no old age for you. There is no death for you. By your very nature, that is what you are. But that is not how it is happening. But we seem to have the problem of old age and death. Yeah, that is what you are planning for. That's why you get it. It is like somebody has already paid for the box to lie down after death. He has already paid for it. And so the box is reserved. And the moment the person dies, they make a phone call, the box will arrive, and so he can lie down in that. This is how we live. So retirement, another name is jara. Okay, and so we have planned for jara. So you get it. What you desire, you get it. This is the law. What you desire, you get it. Therefore, be careful before desiring anything. So you desire retirement community, you get it. Means you get into jara. And you already purchased the box reserved along with your name and telephone number, so you will die. Jara maranam icchantaha. They desire jara and maranam. Chiyavante, tan manishaya. You know manisha? Because in your mind you think about it. You think about jara, you get jara. You think about death, you get death. But you are free from jara and death, but you fall down into the level of jara and death because that is what you are thinking and that is what you are planning for. What a unfortunate thing. You should not plan like that. So all this language is very corruptive. Like suppose we go to India, then we can employ somebody to help me when I become bedridden. With less money you can get people there. When we are bedridden, they will help. Therefore, better to relocate to India. Means already you are planning to become bedridden. Why these thoughts come to you? Where has gone all the Vedanta? Means you have not understood Vedanta. Are you a spiritual entity or religious entity or worldly entity? What are you? If you are a spiritual entity, then birth and death have nothing to do with you. And time has no hold upon you. You are not a creature of time. You are timeless. Therefore, be careful while answering. And be truthful to what you say. I appreciate your saying that you are a spiritual entity. That is what you must be as a student of Vedanta. But be warned. Later don't complain. If you are a spiritual entity, you have nothing to do with birth and death. And you are timeless. You are not time-bound. You are timeless. That is how a spiritual entity is defined. So I was born and I will die and I will do pujas and live another 10 years and then I will go to heaven. That is not spiritual entity. That is a religious entity. Then I will die and I made all arrangements for the money that should go to my children. They will take care of it. I made all the arrangements. A box also I have purchased and kept. That is the worldly entity, not spiritual entity. People are in part worldly and in part religious entities. You do not come across a spiritual entity that easy. If you come across a spiritual entity, you have come across a jnani, a liberated soul. That even the thought should not occur. Do you know? Thought is the origin of speech and action. You know that? And Atma is the source from which thought emanates. You know that? And if there is corruption at the level of thought, and at the level of Atma itself there is corruption, means you take Anatma as the Atma. And therefore your thought is badly influenced by this ignorance. Then what you say will be wrong things and what you do will be wrong, and that is where we end up. Why do you think like that? There is a thing called self-reliance. You know what Swami Ramatirtha says? Only people who are self-reliant will understand the truth of the self. Self-reliance. He put this self-reliance on the top as a qualification. And self-reliance is at 3 levels. That is the dhṛti. So, you keep the body in such a state. Don't bother about exceptions. I am talking about the rule. I think that I will remain on my feet. I will do all my chores. This is what Sri Krishna told. This is the dhṛti. When it is time to go, I sit upright. I sit upright and take a deep breath, chant Om and go. You plan that way. Why don't you plan that way? You are a student of Gita. Plan that way. That is what I am planning. I want to go that way. Will I go that way? Yes. Why I will go that way? Because that is how I want to go. That's why I will go that way. I know a gentleman. He was sick, very great Mahatma. I studied with him. He was sick. His son put him in the hospital. He was not able to understand properly. He is a sick man and bedridden. Just 1 or 2 days, the son consulted a doctor. Doctor said, come on, bring him. Heart is some problem is there. What else will be there? Heart, it will have some problem. It was working for 70, 80 years already. Some beat differences will always be there. And so somebody took him in and put in the hospital, these corporate hospitals, you know. So they put him in the hospital, they pull him into the ICU. You don't need ICU for everything. They just push him into ICU and then put all the wires and all that. He woke up. After a few hours, he woke up and asked, where am I? He was a great Mahatma. I studied with him for some time. Where am I? You are in the hospital. But it looks very unusual with curtains and all that. This is ICU. What are all these wires to keep you alive? I need not be kept alive. He sat and pulled out all the wires and started walking out. They were panicky. And the outside relatives are waiting. And they rushed inside. He said, why? I don't want to die here. This is not what I want. I am walking out. And he pulled out all the tubes and he walked out. They have no other alternative. He was taken home. And he went home and he lied down there and he did his contemplation or whatever. And he died at home after 2 days. Ram Sukhdasji was like that. But that is not Ram Sukhdasji that I am talking about. I am talking about a great Mahatma called Sannidhanam Suryanarayana Murtyavadhani. And I knew another Mahatma with whom I studied. He was sick and he was ill. So son told, I will take you to the nearby town to the hospital. He said, no hospital. No hospital. I will die here. No hospital. That is called dhṛti. So you plan for a hospital and support systems and a nurse to be employed. Is that how you plan, or you plan for dhṛti? What is that you want to plan? We should think of dhṛti. Other things, whatever has to happen, will happen. The natural thing happens naturally. But we should plan for dhṛti. In our plan, all these silly things are not there. So we rely upon the dhṛti, the physical stamina. I rely upon the physical stamina. And then the vigor of the life force in the body. I rely upon that vigor. That vital force is there called prana. I rely upon that. I rely upon the physical stamina and the vital force. That is my dvitīyā. How is that? This self-reliance, I will discuss it a little more and finish that verse in tomorrow's class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam